Hello guys, this is Ash Artist here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome, and don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel for more content, guys. So in this video I will just be sharing with you guys why I decided to put time in my art career and professionally pursue it as like more of a side thing. I do it more of a side thing. I have my main project management career which I'm pursuing and building on, so I have to get into that stable place financially where I can now say I'm a full-time artist, because in a developing country to focus totally on art, you won't get too far. You won't get too far because art is still getting the appreciation it deserves in Kenya specifically. I don't know about other African countries, but art is still in that age where people are beginning to recognize art and appreciate it more. So let me just begin with my story of how I became interested in art. So it was back in class 6 primary school. I used to have this side desk mate, and this sorry for any background noise that you may experience during this video, first of all. Anyway, so it was in class 6. I had this side desk mate and I had this back desk mate. So they usually used to do this drawing of cartoons and some flowers, cars, just, and they were guys, so they used to do these drawings. And with time I became interested. I was like, I can do this. I usually used to have this self-belief that I can be anything. I can be a doctor, I can be an interior designer. I used to have this self-belief that I'm capable of anything. So I decided, like, I want to try this. So we used to have a computer at home, and we used to have these photocopy papers, and of course pencil. Like, of course you have a pencil if you're in primary school. So I went to this computer, and that time was Google there. I can't, yeah, Google was there. So I went to Google and I searched SpongeBob. Yeah, so I was a fan of cartoons at that age, so I began drawing things like SpongeBob, these cartoons. Ben 10 was my favorite. I used to love that cartoon so much. So I began drawing these animated cartoons and everything. Would just like look at the picture on the computer, put a book here and the paper on top, like on my lap, and then I start drawing, and then I go to the table and begin coloring, with those colors. Yeah, so the good thing is, my parents, when you ask them for something and you explain to them why you want that thing, they would buy it for you. So I had requested for some colored pencils, so I had colored pencils with me, and I began just drawing those Ben 10 and whatever. At first they used to come out funny because I'm just beginning out and I'm sketching by looking at the computer, and I didn't know anything about art at that time, or anything about using grades or any of that. So yeah, it was quite interesting at first. It was quite a learning journey. I was really enjoying the process, doing these things. And I usually used to take these CD covers, when that was a period whereby the DVDs were in the market and everything. Everybody was using DVDs. They had come into the market, and we used to buy CDs so we can watch like movies and everything. So I used to take those covers. We had many cartoons and everything, so I used to take covers for those CDs, like maybe for Ben 10, Barbie. Those time Barbie cartoons were the ones which were common. So those Barbie cartoons and just different cartoons, I began drawing them. And I even tried doing these landscapes and everything, drawing trees, some mountains and lakes. But hey, I was just beginning out, and my art was not okay. It was good for somebody who is in primary school. It was just like, okay, you can draw nice art and everything. Yeah, so I began drawing, and then with time, like, my dad saw I'm kind of interested in art and everything, so they bought for me a drawing book, just a basic drawing book. It was not that okay, it was just a basic drawing book for children and everything. So I began drawing there. It was an A4 book. I began drawing there and everything. And then I had this friend, Muslim friend, who used to know how to draw flowers. I became interested in that too. So I started engaging in trying to know how to draw these flowers, you know, like the ones they usually draw on their skin with henna. Yeah, so I became interested in that, but I found out that that was quite challenging because it needed a lot of accuracy, and I was just beginning in art and I was not quite good in it. So I decided to just focus on animated art instead. And even my parents were encouraging me, oh, you can be like a film and animation animator in future, you can do that course, yeah, keep doing this, you can even be producing these adverts where they use cartoons. So my parents really encouraged me with my art, but of course I still had to focus on my education and all that. So I just kept drawing. When I have free time, I draw. Yeah, so when I got to high school, I went to a good high school. So that was MFA, my Forces Academy, Lanet. So I went to a good high school and they offered art. So I took a subject in Form 1. So I began doing art, but at first some people were telling me that, hey, you won't be able to manage with art in secondary school. You think they draw easy things the way you're drawing here, cartoons and Ben 10 and all that. People are brought for a live cat, a live rat, and you have to look at it and draw it. Yes, I was like, oh my god, like I don't know how to bring out details that well of realism to show like, oh, this is really something that is here and all that. Will I really manage? But that didn't discourage me. I had heart. I had art in my heart. I had art in my heart. I was passionate about art. So I decided like, it is what it is. I will be able to do it. Even when I was beginning art, I didn't know that I could draw these animated cartoons and all that. It all began with me trying and starting to do it, and I realized that I can do it. So I will not let people discourage me and tell me that I can't do it. So that's how I began doing art in high school as a subject. But when it reached in second term, was it second term? No, end of first term. Yeah, my my mom said that, don't continue with art. I've heard a lot of stories of how people perform poorly in art in KCSE and it messes their grades. Just stop with art. Maybe after you finish high school, you can take art as a short course or anything like that. Just do another subject like home science. That's an easy subject. Just stop with art. So of course you have to listen to your parents. You're a young person, you're in secondary school, you just joined secondary school, and like, you know, they know better, they've been through there before you and everything. So I said okay. I went and changed subjects. I took home science. I talked to my art teacher. Imagine, even that time I had been elected as the art prefect. I was the art prefect. So I really felt bad like stepping down, like going to do home science, and I was not even interested in home science. And I love to cook, but I was not interested in like studying home science. I don't know how to sew and everything, all that. Like, I was not that interested. I was still passionate about art, so I did home science. I did home science for some time. Actually, I went to music before I went to home science. There was a time I used to believe I can be a musician, but that's a story for another day. So went to music, then to home science. So I settled there in home science, but was not really feeling it. So when I finished Form 1 that term, now we are heading to Form 2. During that holiday before going back to school now to join Form 2, I was like, no. Me, when I go back to school, I'm going back to art. I don't know how this will happen because I'm now in Form 2. Now I can't, how, if I'll be able to talk to the teacher of art to find a way to manage for me to go back to art and all that, but I'm not going back to home science. Like, my heart is in art. I'm passionate about this thing. I used to see artistic things and I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I told my parents that me, I'm going to change back to art. I'm going to change back to art. That is what I want to do. So said, okay, they had no choice since I decided. Said, will they accept that you change back to art and you've been doing on science for the past 2 terms? And I said, I don't know, but I'm just going to try and talk to the art teacher and see what she says. So I went and she said, okay, but of course I couldn't be elected as prefect again because, you know, they had already put somebody else. So which was okay, as long as I was back in art class, that is what mattered. So I really catched up quickly, even with the others, like, because when you have this thing as a talent, trust you me, they say you need skill and talent, and you cannot have talent and you lack skill and expect to get far. So trust you me, this thing is a talent, this thing is in my heart, and I just, no matter what I do, even the times I usually say I just want to give up on art, like that, I'm not longer doing art, I'm just focusing on growing myself as a person. I'm focusing on my project management career, growing there only, and I'm just leaving art. But trust you me, I just come back. It just happens. I'm just drawn back. Like, I'm just drawn back because I'm passionate about this thing. I'm passionate about art. So I really caught up with the other students very quickly. Like, by midterm, I had already caught up with everything they had studied in art and everything. And let me tell you, I was the top in that exam. That my first exam in art, that form 2, I was the top, and I was just performing well and everything. Even the teacher will say, like, Lydia is good, like, generally in the different sides of art. When it comes to the practical part, the theoretical part, when it comes to, you know, creating things with hands and all that. So this thing was in me, so I started doing art. But let me tell you, I can't lie, studying art in high school did not help me that much to grow as an artist practically, but it helped me theoretically. It helped me to understand art and the different elements of art, and, you know, just the theoretical part of art. But practically it didn't help me much. But because, I think it's because in high school you don't have that much time to focus on your talent, and you obviously have to focus also on your education, otherwise you won't get good grades. So mostly high school, what helped me in art was just the theoretical part and everything. Once I got out here, I usually used to think that I'm among the best artists. Once I got out here after high school, I was like, am I really an artist? Like, what the hell? I used to see people's art. You know, now after high school you're exposed, now you're going to different places, and I used to see people's art. I'm like, hey, I look at people's art and my art, I'm like, girl, you are no artist. You are forcing things, una force issues, you're forcing things. You are no artist. So I did do art for some time. I began now researching on different artists, different arts. I used to look at people's art, I admire their art, I look at different styles and everything, but I was not really doing art because I was feeling discouraged. And that is one thing you should never do as an artist. Don't compare yourself to other artists. It's good to look at people who are doing art greater than you and be inspired by their work and not be discouraged. Be inspired from them. Try to do things that they are doing. That way you will grow more as an artist. So I learned that eventually with time. Yeah, so once I joined like university, I didn't used to do art much, but also now, like, after my first semester in first year, I was literally most of the time bored because our classes were not every day, and even if they were every day, they were not like for the whole day. So I used to have a lot of free time, and I can't spend the whole time reading and all that. And also I'm an introvert, so I don't like going out too much. Friends will call me, oh, let's go the to party, let's go like here, let's go there, let's but I'm like, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do that this weekend, let's do that. But once it reaches that time, I'm like, you know how introverts are, they just cancel last minute. Or if something comes up and somebody says, or let's do it next time, I like, oh my god, yes, now I have an excuse to miss out on this thing. So I was like more of an indoor person. Literally, if I had everything in the house, I could literally stay I'm someone who can stay for a whole month in the house without coming out if I have everything I need in the house. So I decided like I can't be spending the whole day watching. I can't be spending the whole day reading. So what if I start doing art again? Now this was in 2017, end of 2017, now heading to 2018. I was like, what if I start doing art again? So when I went home that holiday, I took my art books. I went and searched for my art books from high school. I couldn't find my primary school art books, so I went and searched for my art books from primary school. From high school. And I looked at my art and I'm like, oh my god, why did I stop doing this? I was not that good, but I was passionate about this thing and I was just starting out. Why don't I go back to doing art? So I took those art books and came back with them to school. When we opened uni, I came with them back to school. So there were still some many free pages, so I used to go on Pinterest and like search for just basic photos, not too complicated. I was starting out. I still didn't have that self-belief that I could do any complicated type of art. Even if you go to my Instagram, you see my first posts are just about basic art. So I used to go, I draw, I sketch from there, I draw. I didn't even know anything about art grids. And then my cousin, who is also an artist, one day we started interacting and all that, and then he told me, you don't know about art grids, like use art grids, you'll come up with symmetrical art, accurate art, so much art that is so much better, instead of doing these things which are not proportional. And then I started like using the art grids. He showed me how to do art grids and everything. I started using the art grids and drawing them and all that, and my art started coming out proportionally. Even if people used to comment, your art looks so nice and everything, and that gave me more strength and hope to keep doing my art. So I kept doing it. Of course, it was not still in art. You can never reach the end. You can never reach a place and say that I'm the best artist in the world. You can never reach. Art is about growing and progressing each day, learning new things and all that. So I started doing and everything, but of course my art was not like in that point where somebody would actually like pay for this art or anything like that. So I just kept doing it. This time I was progressing, I was growing, and in 2018 is when I started like posting my art. But of course most people just tell me, you're just forcing yourself to be an artist. Your art, others were like, your art looks nice, you just need to practice more. And others were like, your art is just like nothing interesting about it. But I kept going, I kept practicing, because I was still an amateur in art. I kept growing, I kept growing, I kept growing. And then in 2019, my best friend showed me like who is also an artist, showed me like how techniques in art, especially graphite art and everything. Yeah, so I began like experimenting more with graphite art, portraits and all that, and growing and just different techniques and everything. Sorry guys, I already feel tired. I feel like I've talked for so long too much. I'm tired. Anyway, let me just try shorten this story and hurry up. So we began even doing art together and all that, and I started to grow. So in 2019 is when I got my first art client. By 2019, by then I had grown so much as an artist. I began getting art clients at around September. That time I was posting my art on Instagram and everything. People were interacting with my art, and I had grown so much. So the first client I got, that is a story that I will share when in my story time in priming my canvas, about my first art client and how it was not good. Anyway, I began getting art clients. I got several clients that 2019, I think around 5 clients. And that was the time when I had begun doing portrait graphite art. So I began earning some little money from my art, and I kept doing it. Now in 2020, I decided I want to experiment with painting and everything, because I love painting more than graphite art. So I love colors, and everything. So I began doing paintings and all that. Hey, but my paintings at first, it was so long since I did paintings. The most time that I did paintings was in high school. Now I'm going back to doing my painting. At first it was tricky, accuracy and proportion and all that. Proportion was not a problem. Accuracy, ensuring the brush hits right and everything. But through Instagram, I was able to meet different artists, and the artists who actually are good out here. Some artists are usually selfish with knowledge and everything, which is not cool. So the artist who usually used to advise me, do this more, do this less. Like, if you're painting this, you should start here and there. And I began watching tutorials and all that, and let me tell you, it really helped me. So in 2020 is even when I went for my first shoot with my art and all that, and that's when I did that painting of Catwoman and Batman. Yeah, Catwoman and Batman. That was a commission piece, and let me tell you, that artwork helped me gain a lot of respect from collectors, my Instagram followers, and fellow artists and all that. And that was an animated type of art, Catwoman and Batwoman, that artwork. And remember, in primary school, that is where I began doing my art, from animated artwork, animated cartoons and all that. So I have strength in that field. So I began doing, but there was a lot of confusion in my mind. Honestly, even up to date, I'm still searching for where I fit in as an artist. That is why I call myself a versatile artist, because I love experimenting with different types of art. But currently, I realize that I should settle with abstract, surrealism art, and animations. So I began doing those paintings. People placed a couple of orders here and there, and I had now like increased my rates. I earned quite good money from that Catwoman and Batwoman painting anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I began doing paintings, but of course, people are just telling me, some people, I don't know if I should call them haters or anything, but some people are just telling me that, your art, you just use your body to market your art. Like, I'm like, okay, so I shouldn't take pics with my art. I shouldn't take pics with my art just because I have an attractive body or what. So some people are saying, were thinking like, my art has started to grow because, like, I've started gaining more recognition as an artist because I've begun like taking pics with my art, and that I have an attractive body, and that's why people are now interested in my art. But no, those people who said that I was gaining recognition because of my attractiveness, why don't they use the same attractiveness and see if they'll gain recognition? No, I don't agree with that. I put in the work. Let me tell you. And my best friend, who's always there with me, motivating me with my art, can attest to that. There are many times I've wanted to give up on my art talent. There are many times I've said, I'm no longer doing this. By the way, let me focus on my project management career and these other things, and growing like business wise and all that. But I keep coming back because this is talent, this is passion, this is in me. I cannot let it go. So 2020 I really grew, and then coming 2021 I really grew even more. I even shared like my first art exhibition video here. You can check it out. That was in last year November. I participated in an art exhibition with my Resilancia artwork and all that. I really grew as an artist, both in every aspect. I grew as an artist. I started producing quality work because there's a time whereby you focus so much on posting, you focus so much on creating art for other people, and you end up like not growing in your quality or anything like that. But when you start focusing on creating authentic art, quality art, you grow as an artist. And also when you begin treating art like a business, you start growing as an artist. So in 2021 I really grew as an artist, but after that art exhibition my morale was broken. I expected to sell my art. And I didn't sell any art. But the exhibition only took 2 weeks. Not thinking about it, I should not go too hard on myself. Plus, the best thing is I took part in an art exhibition, which was one of my goals for last year, which I achieved. So beginning January, I was not even in that artistic mood. I was saying like, I'm giving up on this art. Like, I even took part in an art exhibition. I didn't manage to sell. Like, I have no hope as an artist. I'm not creative. And let me tell you, your enemy is yourself. You talk yourself down. You believe that you cannot do it. So my best friend told me like, okay, then leave art, don't do it. If that's what you've decided, then don't do it. I know you'll go back. I know you will go back. Art is in you. Art is your talent. Art is your passion. Art is your skill. You will go back. And I was like, yeah, I'm never going back. Me this year, this 2022, I'm focusing on just growing myself as a project manager and all that. I'm not going back to art or anything like that. I give up on the creative world. I let it go. Jokes on me. I went back. So for around 2 or 3 months, I was not doing art, but I went back because art is in me. So as you can see, I've been producing artworks and all that. I decided to just settle with surrealism, animated art, and abstract art. As I said, I've been searching for my art style for the longest time, and I realized these are what I would like to settle on. So right now I'm still in that art journey. I cannot say I'm among the toppest artists, but I'm in a place, I'm just in the middle level and growing more. I will not be in the same place that I am right now. Next year will be in a much better place. Art is all about growing. Art is all about practicing, believing and trusting in the process, and just employing also your knowledge. It's not all about creating art, it's all about creating a business from your art and employing these strategies and everything. So that's why I even decided to venture into YouTube and all that. Yeah, so right now I'm just creating more art, and I'm investing more on quality art, authentic art, original types of art, and also not original type of art. Yeah, so that is basically why. I don't know if that answers the question why I'm pursuing art professionally. Art is in me. It will never leave me. I will always be an artist. I will always pursue art, and I'm just breathing art, talking art and all that. So if you're like me and you're just like maybe in a developing country and you feel like, the way art doesn't pay off, artists aren't appreciated, I'm just here to tell you, keep doing your art. Keep doing your art, work hard in your art, it will pay off, the clients will come, all that. And just do it. Do it as your passion. Don't do it for the money or anything. Me, I don't do art for the money, I won't lie. Just do it. But also do it wisely. Also have that career that you are pursuing on the side for your financial needs and everything, because I won't lie to you to depend solely on art if you're in Kenya, so, or maybe in Africa, or I don't know. Don't depend solely on art. Just if you have something else professionally that a course you did or anything, just keep pursuing that too, and putting that first before art. Like, pursuing it further. If you get more opportunities there, take those opportunities and do art in your free time professionally. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll see you in my next video, my next vlog, and thank you for watching and subscribing to this channel. Bye guys.